I have to see where do I invest my money. Is it new people or is it new products and services to the existing customer base? Let's take this as an illustration talking about this year. Let's call it year X. This represents the amount of money and time I've invested during this year to penetrate the market with my small restaurant, 10 dishes, 200 loyal consumers. And I have to think about next year, X plus 1. I can do both next year. I can write here 2010, I can write here 2020. It all depends how valid this video will be in a few years. That's why it's this year, X, next year, X plus 1. I can say that the circle again represents budgets and resources. We'll invest more in market development next year rather than product development next year. And this means that this plus that equals the budget, assuming the budget stays the same. So if my budget is 100, next year I can allocate 60 here and maybe 30 here. And it's almost 100, not yet 100, because I have another option. So I'm taking a budget and resources, allocating them accordingly, whether it's new products, new markets, and this is a lot about strategy. What is the right direction to take on the long run next year? Once I have a new menu, it's not a big issue. But if I have a new service, like, for example, delivery services, which I haven't in the past, I'm creating altogether a new product. And this product will bring probably new business. And this is called diversification strategy. Diversification means that I'm bringing to my business another, maybe, profit center. I'm bringing an innovation, hoping to cater to new needs, hoping to cater to new target audiences, new markets. In this case, it can be, again, delivery service. And I can invest already now, maybe 10 out of the 100. And this is 2 years from now. This year, next year, a year from now. It is not wise to jump to conclusions and to say, okay, I'm succeeding here. I have already 200 customers, which are good consumers, loyal consumers. Let's jump and set up a new chain very quickly from one restaurant to a chain of 2, 3, and then more restaurants. I will probably fail. I have to go through the intermediate phases of market development strategy or product development strategy, and this is Ansef model. If you take this as a background, you can then come up with one sentence, one basic sentence, that might say, next year, we're going to concentrate to develop the product, the menu, the dishes, to new markets. Secondly, by importance, we're going to develop a delivery service. And that's it. It's one short sentence that can give us clearly a direction for the next year. And this is this section 2.1. This is it. If you know Ansef model, you can write one sentence. You can back it up with an annex. You come to the bank and you say, next year we're going to develop new products. The bank says, how come? Where does it come from? You can then show some background that you understand this basic model, and you can talk about strategy for the first time, understanding what strategy is all about. It says it is symmetric, and you can say that each segment, each issue here, for example, segmentation, current segmentation, last year, next year. Marketing mix, last year, next year. Okay? And onwards. It goes that every section that we have analyzed so far has its meanings. We have analyzed it, and now we can translate it into a very short sentence that can start, next year, we will what? So, market segmentation, if you remember, once we spoke about this, section 1.4, market segmentation, we saw 4 different ways to segment, and there are more. You can select 1 or 2 or 3 or more options, retain a segment which is really something that exists already, and now you can just tell us in one sentence, out of that analysis, you can try and interrelate that information. What are the desired market segmentation or target audiences? Which audiences do you opt for? Talking about Ansoff, if you are talking here about market development, we have to see here the correlation. You speak about new people to come to your business, to the small restaurant. Okay, who are they? And this you can do here, and then I can take it as well. That's all. So it's few short sentences. Next year, we will target who? Easily said and easily done. If you haven't had this background, it is pure guess times experience divided by luck. It doesn't sound very firm formula. Marketing mix. If you remember, once we spoke about existing marketing mix, we saw the different elements. We spoke about 11 different elements, and then we spoke about 14 elements for a service, 11 for a product. Different elements that can then bring an image of what is, visually what is, a marketing mix. Remember the cocktail we have conducted in class, a small trial, and we have created a cocktail, a formula, a solution. And let's take an exclusive brand like Rolex. If I have to invest time and money, most of the time and money, marketing-wise, will go to the brand, to support the brand. Sponsorships, if I can. An exclusive brand does not need a lot of advertising. It is exclusive enough. It needs some support, but not a lot, in this example. And you have here indirect distribution channels. You need that. And this is the marketing mix of Rolex for next year. This can be, again, as an illustration for you. And in a sentence here, you can say, next year, we will invest most of our funds, most of our budgets in favor of the brand, and then by importance, sponsorships, and then by importance, we have to support the indirect distribution channels, all the intermediaries around the world that have the right to sell Rolex. We spoke about the SWOT. We spoke about the SWOT and the TOWs. We saw what it meant. And then easily we can relate it and cater some objectives. The TOWs already, as a background, can help us to set these objectives. If you remember, the TOWs was the linkage between existing threats and existing opportunities together with strengths and weaknesses. So I've taken strengths and weaknesses and I'm going to challenge them with opportunities and threats, and we saw that a strength can become a threat and a strength can become an opportunity, and the same goes for weaknesses. Weakness can become a threat and weakness can become an opportunity. So there you go. You can have here maybe 4 objectives. If you can take one out of each 4 elements, out of the strength, you can highlight the USP, and you can say next year we will continue or not to support our USP. Again, unique selling proposition. You can take the W for the weaknesses and say, how can you turn that into an objective? Next year, we will tackle this and this issue. Same goes for opportunities and threats, which may be easier to understand. You have several opportunities. In this analysis, in the SWOT before, we have categorized it by importance. If I have 3-4 opportunities next year, I'll take the first one, the first 2, and I will describe them here as a challenge, as an objective. And the threats, more of the same. So far, I can draw a line here. We have seen how these bulks that we have done before match the bulks that we are doing now, how current situation, current analysis is translated into future analysis, and so far we have seen this bulk corresponding. We have taken business environment, market analysis, and competitive analysis into a model, withdrawing one sentence, one clever sentence to describe the strategy for next year marketing-wise, marketing strategy. We have taken this bulk, which is exactly the same, just taking the X-ray from last year and developing it more clearly next year. And this is the second section.